Back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, a place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world and our amazing country, but how we're going to fix both of them together. The content that I'm going to show you right now, I need you to send out to everyone that you know, because if you're on the side of freedom and love you some liberty, what we're about to talk through that CNN just kind of like unveiled as this big trend that's plaguing the Democrats for the last 12 years, this is going to be one you're going to want to watch and send out. Because this right here is how we grow our gun ownership. This is how we grow our gun rights. This is how we undermine the gun control efforts across the board that have been taking place. This is everything brought to us by CNN through their illicit polling. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. And of course, if you love freedom, if you're loving this content, you want to spread liberty from coast to coast, border to border, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, because that is what we are about. And don't miss out, guys. Make sure you get our new limited time design. This is freedom only lasts if you defend it. The message is on point. The colors look great. The design is excellent. There's a link in the description box below. This is going to be on sale till Friday. They are selling like hotcakes. So guys, make sure you get your order in, because the first one's in or the first one's out. They're shipping out on Monday and sales end on Friday. Check this one out because I love this shirt. As you can see, this is the dimension. It shows you what you believe, shows you what you fight for, and gets you ready for Election Day attire right in time. And of course, guys, there's a link in the description brought to us with a partnership with 9line. Let's get back to the whole thing, though. This is something you need to see. And make sure that link in the description is made available for you. All right. Harry Hinton. You guys know how I love this guy and his data. Well, he just found something around black support for the Democratic Party. Not just Kamala, also the Democratic Party. This is what we call a trend. When you're following the trend, you can see where it's going. The trend is your friend. Yeah, it's not just the stock market. It's everything else too. The Democrats are losing their core base constituency at an unprecedented rate. Listen to this. This is going to blow your mind. And then listen to what it means for our gun rights, because I'm going to fill that part in. Let's get it. This is a big one, people.
And sometimes there's a trend line now I never noticed before and make me go, whoa.
Whoa.
This is one of them, all right? This is the Democratic margin among black men under the age of 45 in presidential elections. You go back to November of 2012, what do you see? You see Obama by 81. Clinton only won him by 63. Then we're all the way down to Biden last time around by 53. A tremendous drop already. And then you take a look at the average of the most recent polls, and Kamala Harris is up by only 41 points. That is about half the margin that Obama won them by back in November of 2012. And this, I think, is, when Barack Obama goes in last week when he was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, essentially talking to young black men, he made it seem like it was a Kamala Harris specific problem. This is part of a long-standing trend of young black men moving away from the Democratic Party, and Kamala Harris is just the latest to face that magnitude of younger black men going towards the Republican.
That was most.
All right, so we are going to dive into this. Guys, classify this one under cataclysmic if you're on the Democrat gun control side, all right? Now, we talk about gun rights on this channel primarily. When it comes to election season, because those things are intertwined, we shift between the two. But guys, you have to understand the political implications of this and our gun rights. If the Democrats have lost 50% of their core constituency base of black men 18 to 45. By the way, that's two demo book groups. That's 18 to 29, the coveted one, and then that's 29 to 45. Guys, those two groups in 20 years, if that continues, you will not have a Democrat president again. Unless they change constituencies or something crazy happens. But on that trend line, you will not have a Democrat take power federally. You will probably have a significant decrease in Democrats in control of state legislatures and and other municipalities. This is a really big one, guys. Cataclysmic is the right word. I might put it in the title. Probably will. It's a fun one. But you have to understand, 18 to 44 going from 81 to 41, a 50% reduction ending with Kamala Harris in just 12 years. Think about that from a standpoint of the Bill of Rights, of gun rights, of freedom of speech, any of those things in the Bill of Rights themselves. You have to understand how magnificently incredible this is if you're on the freedom liberty side. But now, let me keep going, because it's not just the young black men, it's also the older black men. Look at this. This is also interesting. Again, keep in mind the trend lines, and please send this to everyone you know because it's massive.
Here is the trend line and where some of the biggest drops happen or already happen in this case. How about black men overall?
How about black men overall? It's part of the same picture. You know, we're looking once again at younger black men. It looks like the worst Democratic performance since 1960, since JFK versus Richard Nixon. It's the same thing among black men overall. Again, part of a similar trend, but here actually the drop-off isn't as dramatic, right? Barack Obama won him by 85, then you see 71 with Clinton, 69, Biden, basically the same thing, holding steady. But here, again, very, very weak, only a 54-point margin. Now, again, still winning them by a large margin, but considerably lower than what we're used to, certainly considerably lower what we had during the Obama years. The bottom line is Kamala Harris with younger black men and then black men overall putting in historically weak performance for a Democratic
Is she
candidate.
getting any real?
All right. Don't worry. The ladies are coming up next. The ladies is going to be the one that's going to blow your socks off. Now's a really great time to say my disclaimer around the election. You've got to vote. You have to get up off your butt and vote. You have to get your friends to vote. You have to get your family to vote. Act like you are 5 to 10 points behind at all times. If we're even and you squeak by a victory, congratulations. If you're winning and you vote, guess what? You run up the score and you induce the 5 stages of grief on your Democrat gun-controlling opponents. Go team, go. The point is you got to vote. Not trying to dissuade you from voting by giving this information, but this is a part of a broader, backed out, zoomed out macro trend going towards a freedom side. Black men, I already showed you 18 to 44. Now, black men in general. This is the worst since 1960. Does that sound familiar to any other things that we've been covering? Again, look at the micro, then zoom out and see how it translates to the macro. That's why we set a goal on this channel, a guiding principle to find the why and follow it, and then find the data to support it. Hello! Guys, you are literally watching 85, 71, 69, 54. With Kamala Harris being the lowest of all of them. You have to understand where we're at. That is a trend line going directly down in the core baseline constituency of the Democrat Party, which happens to be in bed with the gun controllers. This is a really big deal. But let's continue, because that trend is going to copy over to the ladies. Even this guy, what about the ladies? Watch this.
With black women?
All right. So, you know, we're talking about the trend line, right? And black women, look, she's doing better with black women than she is doing among black men. But here, there isn't a trend line almost until we get to Kamala Harris. So again, this is a black margin among black women. Look, Obama won him by 93, very large margin. Clinton won him by 93, a very large margin. Biden did a little bit worse at 85. But then you look here, and you get a 71-point margin.
Wait a minute.
Now, again, these are large margins, but the bottom line is when you're talking about the base of the Democratic Party, you would think that Kamala Harris would do very well among black women based upon history, and of course she would be the first black woman president, but she's actually doing the worst for a Democratic candidate among black women since 1960, if this holds, John.
And again, when you look at the numbers here, whenever you come in, looking at the trends.
Again, the worst since 1960. Do you guys see what's happening? Worse since 1960 with black women. Worse since 1960 with black men. Young black men, 18 to 44. 50% reduction. Union households across the nation, 50% reduction. 18 to 29, 50% reduction. Guys, I told you earlier this week, I believe, she's going to be the 50% candidate, the 50% Democrat nominee. We're trending that way. Now, we're going to find out on November 6th if that name is something that I can brand and go with, but it looks like she is going to be a 50% Democrat candidate with 50% support across the entire board from all other Democrat markers prior to her candidacy. This is big, guys, and as we zoom out, we look at all the trends, we zoom back in, let's look at what we can see for us. If you lose this type of core constituency support, gun rights groups and Republican parties and conservatives, you have a opportunity to appeal to a disillusioned portion of the Democrat electorate and get them into your fold. Hey, do you think it's a coincidence that the same people who are showing up in these polling right here are the exact same people who are buying guns at unprecedented rates? Do you think that's any coincidence? It's not a coincidence. There is a trend of everyone in the United States trending towards liberty and freedom. They're doing it with their voting answers. They're doing it with their polling answers. They're doing it with their feet. They're moving. They're doing it with their financial requirements. They're doing it with every single aspect of their lives, including the Second Amendment, by buying firearms. Guys, there's a massive trend undertaking right now, and most people don't even see it coming, but you do because you are a fan of this channel. You subscribe. I love every second that we hang out with each other, and I will see you guys on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.